Humans get a lot of bad rap for putting garbage in places that we shouldn't, like landfills, barges. We just throw it in the ground whenever we feel like it, out the car window. We throw it in the ocean, and it gets all the way down to Marianas Trench. What else? Mount Everest. That's right. As it's melting, we're finding a lot of trash. But this episode isn't about Earth garbage. No, this is all about space garbage! Hello, and welcome to What the What, the show about fun facts and a little bit of science. And today, we are talking about how we got all that garbage up into space and why does it matter and what do we need to know about it. Not only have we littered our planet with litter, we've also caused some real issues for space. Since 1957, we've been sending rockets and satellites and monkeys into outer space, and I guess sometimes we just decide to leave it up there with no plans on getting it back. In fact, for many years, we just didn't even care. It's okay. If it's not here, it's not. I don't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? But that's coming back to haunt us. All that junk that's up there has been colliding, and that's causing explosions. And the European Space Agency has had to create an office called the Space Debris Office, whose sole purpose is to figure out what we need to do to fix it and prevent it. But first, the typical subscribe call out. Please do it. I'm stuck up in space and I need your help. Wait, people can't hear you in space. You can't breathe in space. Oh. Basically, we send stuff into space. Sometimes we leave it there. That stuff we leave might have batteries or fuel in it, and then it explodes. Those explosions cause thousands of pieces of debris. So much debris has happened over the years that we are constantly monitoring more than 23,000 pieces of debris. But we can only see it if it's 6 inches or larger. So everything that's smaller than that, we can't track it, and who knows how much is actually out there. Listen, I get it. You're probably thinking, hey man, it's space. Outer space, like not on Earth. If you've looked out there recently, you know it's pretty big. And yeah, you're right, it's pretty big. But all that trash is getting stuck in our gravitational pull. So, it just circles our planet like a thing that circles something. Maybe we were just jealous of Saturn's rings. Or maybe we just love our planet, like a lot. So much so that we had to put a ring on it. So what does this really mean? What's in danger? Is all that trash going to fall out of the sky and crush us? No. Luckily, all of us on Earth, we're going to be fine. Most of that debris is so small that when it does fall through the atmosphere, it burns up. Which leads me to this. Don't burn your garbage. It's not good for the planet, and it's a safety issue. So unless you can drop it from outer space so it burns up in our atmosphere, deal with your garbage the way you should. You recycle it or something. So what is the danger? The danger is for anything or anyone in outer space. Currently, we have 2,666 satellites in outer space. One, which maybe you've heard of, it houses a few people, the International Space Station, or ISS. The International Space Station is chilling about 260 miles above the surface of the Earth. And it moves at like a measly 17 miles per hour. What? 17,000 miles per hour? Holy sh! It's moving at 17,000 miles per hour. That's going to be very devastating if it collides with anything. I mean, we've all seen a car crash at like 70 miles an hour when they do tests and stuff, but 17,000? I mean, I don't know. Think about all those bugs that splatter on your windshield at 70 miles an hour. That's a soft bug versus hard glass. You get a rock or something that chips or cracks the windshield. And anything bigger or stronger or with the right angle just shatters it. Anything that's moving at 17,000 miles per hour has to be very cautious of what's in front of it. And if there's fragments of metal out there in space that's going in the opposite direction, that's very dangerous for the International Space Station. In fact, since 1999, the ISS has had to make 25 avoidance maneuvers. I gotta quote that. I could just put it here. In 2020 alone, they've already done it 3 times, and that trend is going upwards. Just back in September, they had to make this. Just back in September, they had to make this maneuver with a plan of evacuation for safety's sake. Now, luckily, they missed it by a mile, which in space, that's not a lot. That's not a lot, I guess. It's bad enough that we were idiots when we first started throwing stuff up into space, but we're still making it worse. In 2019, India blew up one of its own satellites using a missile to flex off its military muscle. Military muscle. This explosion alone created more than 270 pieces of debris, 60 of which increased collision with the ISS by 44%. Why would we try to damage that or them or whatever? It's stupid. In 2007, China had an anti-satellite test that caused over 3,000 pieces of debris. And it's still up there. Some of it. Okay, so it sounds like we have a pretty good idea that we're doing all this garbage stuff up there, right? What do we do? We have to adopt new behaviors and new technology with the mindset of long-term reduction of debris. There are plenty of teams out there whose focus is to fix this, and they are making changes. But it requires every country that's sending anything into space or shooting it out of space to work together to make it better. Otherwise, we will end up with more debris and something called the Kessler syndrome. This is when the amount of debris is so high that it causes more collisions and a cascading effect. Each crash creating more debris and more crashes and more collisions and more explosions and more debris and more crashes and more explosions and more debris and more crashes and more explosions and more debris. Okay, you get the point. As always, thanks for watching, and what did you learn today? Are you worried about space garbage? Maybe we should change Space Force to Space Sanitation. Yeah, it's an important job.